No number tosum ye no about pe mo pepe higher Pent Radio 100.1 FM ye wo Kumase asokwa Pentecost House anwumre no num ene fa kase ena ebra so me de bro media ene ohene ba nyakom kase yi ena CPC enkoma ohene race spices na fenso ohene non dairy powdered milk ene wonum na ma aduane ayede aduane so ye de na se fie so ayede de ye free ye weekend ba ye wan kase hu ni sei uto obi ko ye na wa adanse na te sei mesro ya to aso na to bi fa kogu fie won madama ai na matara se na nwumre ede kase na ebrewo emu ensam na ebi enie Osofo Samuel Brefo wono da kuma nyameche district pastor wo say so we Christian a hu Yesu anaso hia na mempre wo ho say obe bibia manyame nemom twen na woni no enya yonkofa ayonkofa mu odin na wo say woni Yesu anase nyankopon enya Omampani John Dramani Mahama ene wo kokopie mu ewo dwumadie bi ekoso ewo enkran no National Agribusiness Dialogue na no wo chese ekwantempo eda apie mantemu de ko atifi mantemu no ewo se ye sanse aduane piye ne firi ho no mo eba Oswafo Yatentere ne eso mechire Minister for Justice and Affairs Attorney General what the enchiremu abadentia was say Dr. Dufo Kwabena Dufo ne nsam ne Unibank egu ye ne sika ehwere o man no watwa ensam ne wodi enchiremu aba na sa enchiremu ya nso na MPP amanyoko ne kire se he papa yi ase wono ankasa wadan ne ho mra no wasesa mra no won fan krata ne adanse a ekire se papa no watua sika ne emu ahamchichemu aduosia emra adehia yebekọ eye krobia eno nso asantimantemu ya tonton adehia edina eye tontokrom wachrese asankofo aje wo masa sese ode ba betu fam gudi nanso nya de omanfo ne chese obekọ into srada otekokọ sotu na fasim ne ministers ahodo anasa soafo ahodo amho wum no monka bi emfema wonom ye bekọ ma no ne ensemo dodo na ena matena se na nwumre ede bro sa enso na ene wonom eboa me se ke okay wono ena ebo ma chiru wono anso na technical remote ma we streaming live for Facebook ede mayen wo call no ma no like no share no ja comment ede ato ase ebreba ma ne akenkan ediama ma me na me hona manyima boafo enkrato yede ka se ni nchemu beto so sisia
Midofo a minnim ho agro na say die oduane ne da no ayesronko
ani omura ohire spices abefi aduane da ayesronko ohire chicken seasoning so wototo wochi ana wo ye akokọ nam ho bibia fakakra som
froye no
ohire stew seasoning ba mama jeta
jollof no
ohire jollof seasoning ma muhwam no odew
fried rice no kra die
ohire fried rice seasoning e ma me fridge frede aponchin kakra no me do ohire go seasoning na ye asam na me se ni ra ohire seasoning powder ya woni beef shrimp noodles any de keke ka ho anu so ye de aduane me hwam na me den ubedie dibium enti obapa ohire spices abama yen aduane no aye de efise ni die ne nso aye de
ohire spices e de ye
e wo dwa hodo mu etufon for 020-780-5398 and 0244-525908 FDA agi edwedien kratoi atum
Memo akwa fe yemo remu ne emfa kase ne nchiremu ne emfa entro awoso Sofo a wono edada kuma nyameche district ano ewo Kanation area Pastor Samuel Brefo wakasa de ato agidifo anim se wankasa mentena se endwendwen empentem se wo be bibi amanyankopon wanhwe yi a na de awoye no krampo ne nye no ene so nyankopon ani anase eno ene beso nyame ani wase twen se woni nyankopon benya yonkofa emu oden ayonkofa papa no eno na be mu hu de nyankopon epe wode Mary ene mata mfanto ho ewo kyresem nim se ebra Mary hu Yesu no kokoshe jade se won waduane nanso ebra mata kokoshe jade se won waduane na Mary eti Yesu na ase no wotie nyame asem na Mary mata pre no hu dia wonye na fe oba ya osi Yesu nti wo ma Mary kwa ma ne ma meboa me no kasa adenti na wo ha wo ho wose wodwen na woni nyankopon enya nketahude ne ayonkofa na mo mempro ho se wankasa obebibi amanyankopon we Pastor Samuel Brefo
Ekedwane nko anka Yesu obedi Mary ati
obedi Martha echi na Martha eja Yesu atena akunyam na wakwese kitchen na bra obre nyina ne se Yesu aba me nchen aduane be pa na Yesu pe eyede wadwene ama me ti na epai etu okofa kosua kra Yesu pe ni waja asio okofa etu wase eti esa me se nie onyankopon pe onye ni nti no waya confused na ne so tan eti opie no ene so bere ana order to asa ni Mary so na all canon so no catch Yesu because Yesu na we entertaining Mary ntina o meboane to catch Yesu o catch ni aben se o meboame se we je adwuma ni nyina bom adwuma ben Yesu ba o ka se obedidi Yesu an ka se obedidi nyame odo no anya Yesu a tina ne nase ne tie ensema oka don't be quick to do something for the Lord be quick to have a good relationship with him ayoko da woni Yakobon tem eno na nyame hwehwe ene wa forebo ene wo jomoto ene wa asa ene wa doye ne nyame refi wa ne se obedoro woni ni be nya yonko fama pamupi and that is life eno na Yakobon hwe free enten
we so for some or brefo one your district pastor da kuma nyameche ewo Kaneshi area Mame for Emora and some fofro emo amam Penny John Dramani Mahama and never copy more our national agribusiness dialogue I say now oko ye no nacheza asemtia edaso a resetting agribusiness for inclusive and sustainable industrial growth. Now when what you say we shall o mai mo baby ye nua ne dodo na se kuafo dodo wa yetimi enya duane na ewo atifi fam afi apeye fam nanso wono makwan eda ho no akwan no ye hyase kane mampani late Professor J. Mills na penso ebi bai wonu ba bejato ho wase na penso ye sanse na ni eku eye kuyaye ho na da na koma so nti obewese sa ekwan no wonu ebeye ne ntem sede ebeye a enuane na fensumfudi a efiri atififa mu ha de ba beduru anafo ha no no obetimi enya ekwan bi afaso
ekeduane.
It's an invitation I very easily accepted because agric and agribusiness is my passion. I just want to indicate that the Eastern Corridor that you mentioned and are excited about is a very important part of Ghana's road network, and it had been neglected for many years, even though the bulk of Ghana's food production is from that corridor, from the northeastern region, northern region into OT and northern Volta. A lot of food comes down that corridor, but it had been neglected for a long time, and so it was Professor Mills who actually came up with a vision of engineering the Eastern Corridor in order to create a smooth flow of agricultural products from north to south. We started working on it. It's supposed to stretch from Tema Runabout all the way to Kulungungu in the upper east region on our border with Burkina Faso. Most parts of it have been engineered from Gushegu all the way down to Otidamanko, and then from Nkwanta all the way down to Jasikai. There are a few gaps, and those gaps are between Otidamanko and Nkwanta. There are two lots there that were abandoned during the It Is Possible years. And so I'm happy to inform you that they've been included in the big push.
Ania omampeni John Dramani Mahama nene ena yetiye no. Arisha mamemfawo entwaso na yenkoi. Ene eye Minister for Justice. Ena fenso Attorney General. Ono for Dr. Dominic Anyini. Obepie mo ewo Government Accountability Series. Ase. Na enkontabuo no ho ena wachire mo ese. Kane fotosamfo Owura Kwabena Dufo. Doctor. Ne nsem anase. Ne banka ne no eye Unibank eho ensemo a edikoko pie mo ewo quarter ene na yese wabo omine ka enunti yenye no yemfa ne nkotum no watimi agisika na nase aban agisika ni mo ohamuchichemu adusia 60% enunti asam ne yetwetwam na wobaye no ne nkire mu no wache se manso krampo no se wotwe manso echa adekode na wope no onsa enka wase se ade bi wo ho na se wase woje mpatasika na also menye metwene tawe ya obetwe atwa ade no kra ebewi ase na kyese wankasa eka en wabo enu nti ena wofre eye asoye ehwe sikasem eso wo san so efre eye Unibank na se papa nankasa ena wono Attorney General no wogina mu haidi referee ena kyese wo mu nyina strike deal na se wono to adwen kasa ya ema entiase ekoye adwuma enu nti enene owura kwamanadofo na sem na se nensem no wo kyese wagyamu enyade a wobesan akoso atwe asem no ebiem.
There is also a genuine risk that prolonged litigation could ultimately lead to lower net recovery, especially when accounting for legal costs, procedural delays, the time value of money, and the potential dissipation or concealment of assets. By contrast, the current arrangement secures the timely resolution or recovery of over 800 million Ghana cedis in assets and establishes a structured pathway for recovering an additional 1.2 billion Ghana cedis with the active cooperation of the accused persons. On the other hand, should the matter have continued in court, it would likely have faced prolonged delays, including multiple procedural applications, adjournments, and appeals. Even if judgment were eventually obtained in either the civil or criminal proceedings, enforcement and execution could take years, further deferring any meaningful recovery. It is clear from the foregoing that I took a pragmatic, holistic approach by engaging the receiver and the accused persons to broker a resolution that settles both the criminal and civil dimensions of the case. This strategy recognizes that while criminal proceedings are punitive, the real economic value to the state lies in a non-conviction-based asset recovery approach. The terms of the settlement are structured to ensure that the Attorney General, the Bank of Ghana, and the Minister of Finance exercise oversight over the recovery of the negotiated amounts. Progress under the agreement will be subject to quarterly reviews to ensure that the accused persons fulfill their obligations as agreed.
Na ononyafo Dr. Nyini Wamano anso hono a wosan ekire ensem ni mo ekoso kire musase ye kase obi abo oman ne form anase ya charge obi a eno ye causing financial loss to the state eno kire se nipa no wawie sika anase ye beka se nipa no odisika na aye ono ankasa ne ho yi na emom ebetimi aye se nipa no oye hwe ha ema oman ni sika ehwere no anase anamo woso to no wantu na enam so ama minor aboka enunti se wotenase hanase se tenase ne yese yensa kan emu ohamu chichemu aduosia enti aduana na aka ne betimi ede ache nipa na eto asomu enunti ena wone aban ena afen so eye owura nankasa wonom esi enkonwa sa antiase eye adwuma.
First, Dr. Kobina Dufour and the other persons standing trial were not charged with stealing or looting of public funds. They were charged with causing financial loss to the state, fraudulent breach of trust, falsification of accounts, as I've pointed out earlier, dishonestly receiving, and money laundering. But the facts and the evidence supporting these charges never allege that those standing trial personally benefit. It's important to make clear that when someone is charged, for instance, causing financial loss, it does not imply from a criminal liability point of view that they took the resources that have been lost. In other words, what we seek to do when we charge someone with causing financial loss to the state is to prove that they either intentionally or recklessly or negligently cause the state to lose resources or to lose funds.
Na we ena Edom Kuma ewa Emrashe Bedwafie eye ranking member on Constitution and Legal Affairs Committee no no anso eye Emrashe Bedwani di mo manfo wonum ewa Asante Achim Central ononyamfo Kwame Enyumedu entry area centralfo enhie mu a wo kyese eba ne sei ema ene Attorney General kyese sika 500 plus and I say 5.7 billion Ghana cedis no was waji emu 800 million and no 60% na emrano wono ankasa na dani ani ana anunti ononya for Kwame Enyumedu ejina NPP amanyuku na wono ewo mrahye bedwafie na nemu ebo eye Attorney General and afin so bantre ne say sa na mo na wo to so wanya idea ene wono betwe na se akwakopiem ewo court eho na wono behia.
The learned Attorney General tells us that on his own, he comes out and says that he negotiated with the parties without any court involved and he intends to free. He has already entered a nolle prosequi, so he had freed them. The next question, or question 3 that I may want to ask. Transparency, as indicated in the press release, demands the learned Attorney General to explain to Ghanaians the principle of 60-40. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, once a nolle prosequi is entered by the Attorney General or the prosecution, we need not find out, and we don't need to find out questions, but he chooses to justify why he had done that in the name of transparency. And that's why I say that transparency, as he had indicated in the press release, demands that he, the learned Attorney General, would explain to Ghanaians the principle of 60-40. If you're talking about 5.7 billion cedis, you have retrieved 800,000 cedis. What happens to the remaining 40%? To him, the Attorney General, today we heard him say that the 60-40, we can forget about the 40% because he uses the proverbial theft of sage goats.
No, what you say, Attorney General, and I'm on a what to no crampono. Say, was say, or pepe ye, I think Kuntaboma Padia, anyone for a hunkrata and some femera. One Rametra Ghana for a quanya and I'm so, Emma, a year 5.7 billion, Eba ye, 1.2. Now I say, Waji, emu 800 in tea, dear, no, and one on the Diakan and Shingu. I fay a whole, a ya dance and cratano, on finding na Emra Nagana for Hubi.
The press release makes reference to 60% recovery threshold as a benchmark for reconsidering prosecutions. When was this policy introduced and under what legal authority? Was this benchmark made public or debated in Parliament? Was it quietly introduced post-2024 to lower the standards of accountability for a case involving 5.7 billion? Can the Attorney General confirm that 1 billion has indeed been recovered and provide documented proof of the recovery? It is strange that the Attorney General is insisting that the amount of 800 million cedis recovered from Dr. Dufour constitute 60%. How did the Attorney General review the amount from the 5.7 billion to 1.2 billion by a mere administrative fiat? The best we heard from him today is to make arrangements for the amount to be paid into public fund. One would have thought that he would wait until the amount, the recovery that he's talking about, would have been paid into the coffers of the state before thinking of nolle prosequi. Did the Attorney General consider Section 35 of the Courts Act at 459 in coming out with the 60-40 threshold?
Na eno ononyamfo kwame enyumedu entwi a waye Asante Achim Central emra shebedwani nene ena yete no afei yemfiri ono na yemura bambo ensemu ononyamfo Frank anodompre emra shebedwani di momamfo wonom ewonsa wom adwagiri wono anso na minority chief whip wase Mr Speaker Misrada wase etimi efre wosoafo a wohwe bambo afisem bambo eso na woba mra shebedwa fie sans ye na esi omamfo nanan na womra mechire yen die na ekoso Ghana ene we ya ade abachi hu na mu wa ha na we atwetuo wode asi ni nuaso wakuno ne ekoso no kwasem Mr Speaker eya ahomete ema ahomete pa na se wo abusua di bi pa yira na se bibi sasi a ahomete yesrada temase na yemfre eye ononyamfo muntaka na womrai na won emra meboye amane ene enye bedwam krampo a yebetimi aye ne dem kokomu a yensonso bia ye wo afuto bia ye de ebema no.
So, Speaker, these are matters I think we should all be bringing our minds to. Let me conclude on a very sad, today our colleague related a sad matter, killings of innocent citizens. And Speaker, I say this with a heavy heart. We have been reading news of people getting missing and the next day or two, their bodies are found. We've read a number of them. I can cite them, but it's a national security matter and I need to be cautious and careful how I relate to this matter. So I want to come under Order 60 and pray you you that we invite the Minister for Interior and National Security not to meet us at plenary. He should meet us at close sitting. Even yesterday, we had 2 killings again in the Ashanti region. Even today, it has happened again. Then we can have a close sitting for him to brief us. We may also have some good suggestions. We are representing various constituencies, and members of parliament may be carrying unique and diverse information which could be made available to aid the works and operation of the minister. So I think this is a matter we can't, as a people representative, we can't gloss over. And I pray that you invite the Interior Minister to meet colleagues.
And you know, for Frank, no dompra, no minority chief opponent, and not yet no. Na Dr. Vladimir Entry so ye can bambo and some more nonsense or reader remove pa. And ye Uko University of Ghana, no kwasem or Jenny pa, papa in that one I know what dear, and ye can bambo and your my monqua, aman bambo who some you winning. Now, what did I know at be as said, ye echo so boko and an important moment to me was no. Just Piles asosa ntokwa nimu anase ntokwa ne nan ye gina so no yebubu ya mubu eno pa de a enya de aboko mensensem mentime ho ase no yebetimi aso ano anase yebetimi atu ase wo se amanyosem wom enti wo se etimi hwe na amanyosem wom no yetimi dwiridwiri ni nyina enya sa enya de asomdwe na ye pre anase ye hwehwe se betimi amani muso e oboko na akaga na nyina no yensa betimi aka owura Dr. Vladimir Entwidanso.
It is good that we have some forward presence, at least to calm situations over there and make people be afraid of wanting to vent out and come out to fight the other. But that's not enough. Suppression of conflict is not enough. It's a gap. Military presence. We had Operation Gong Gong since 1989 or so, or 92. And still the problems over there in the Operation Gong Gong are still there. So military presence, police presence in their numbers would not solve the problem. There are several things propping up the conflict. It could be the history which has not been properly related and we are adding on and twisting history. It may be the media, the way it may be the people themselves, intra-community miscommunication. It could be politics. In the Boku case, politics is one of the greatest beams supporting the conflict. So until you remove these props one by one for the conflict triangle to fall, we have done nothing. So using the military often is only a stopgap.
Na ne Dr. Vladimir Entwidanso say yede asrafo ko se wonum enkonkwo hwe asomdwe na ne de eyemretie wa bi kakra bi krampo ene ye na e wo se etimi ehwe se enan yantokwa